Alright, hello from the future. I didn't know if I was going to edit these vlogs in the end. I almost didn't go on the trip due to things happening at home, and I did end up going, but my mind was elsewhere the entire time. There was a lot going on in the background, but changing my location and seeing old and new sights and friends made for a healthy distraction at the time, and I'm glad I did it. I am adventuring. I'm going to the V&A. I've never been. There's actually a Taylor Swift exhibit on, which I didn't know about originally, but now I do. So I'm going to end up probably spending a lot of the day there and then do some bookstore hopping. Probably Hatchards, Waterstones, do some classics first. I've been to London a couple of times, but it's been a few years, so hitting up some old favorites and then seeing some new stuff. The Ears tour was doing its second London leg while I was there. I didn't go, but I did go to the V&A, and they were doing an exhibition of a lot of her costumes from throughout the years, and instead of being in a single wing, it was scattered throughout the whole museum like a scavenger hunt, which they did, I assume, to both disperse the crowds, but also to encourage interest in the rest of the collection. And I mean, it worked for me. I was there for both. I took a boat to get to the Tate, which was very fun. I didn't narrate anything I did yesterday, but yeah, I showed you I went to the V&A and saw a lot of Taylor Swift outfits, which was really fun. I'll put this back on. I saw the regular collection also, which was amazing. Lots of Rossetti, some Turners, some Constables. Love them. I'm gonna see the rest of the Turners here. I've seen them before. I do love the Tate Britain a lot. What else did I do yesterday? I went to Hatchard's. I went to Waterstones, got a couple of books, mostly just sort of sat around and rested after museuming for like 4 hours straight. So let's go back and do that again. But yeah, yesterday for dinner, went to Chinatown, got just an enormous duck bao, an enormous pandesal filled with ube ice cream as well. So successes all around. And yeah, so today is the Tate. This is a return visit, but I just love it here so much. That 19th century room is just my happy place. So I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I'm in the trees at the middle of the circus. A little sweaty because it's warm today, and also a little oily from the spa. So the bangs are not in their best shape, but I'm not mad at that. I'm heading to number 1 Royal Crescent now. It's a, I guess, preserved Georgian house. And then after that, I'm gonna dash over to the Roman baths before I have something called the Frankenstein experience. And I am looking forward to whatever that entails. Alright, the Frankenstein experience was pretty fun in the end. It was put on by the House of Frankenstein, which is located in Bath. It's part museum, part escape room, about the history of Frankenstein, both as a literary text and then, the cultural phenomenon it's become. And the experience included a walking tour following Mary Shelley's life in Bath, and a cocktail made by the actor who played Claire Claremont, who visited us while we were on the tour, and then we got to sip on the cocktails while we explored the museum itself. I'd say it's more of a general interest or horror fan museum because it doesn't really have any archival items from like the literary history of Frankenstein, but I still enjoyed it. And then I got dinner at Sally Lunn's, which is like a really old restaurant dining room, and had their famous buns. And I also had a Georgian punch. I don't remember what was in it, but I remember that it was huge. I liked it. And it was on theme. I was doing a very romanticist heavy day in Bath. The day after I got back from Bath, I had a big day-long excursion with friends. It was a really fun day, but I remember it was really hot, and so Notting Hill was super busy, super overstimulating, but it was really fun. I mean, obviously I love the movie, so I had to go see the bookstore where Hugh Grant works. It was super crowded, and they didn't have a very impressive or curated selection of books, so I'm glad I went once, but I wouldn't go back. Then we went to Highgate Cemetery. We saw the graves of Karl Marx, the Rossettis, Radcliffe Hall, George Michael, and George Eliot, and people left pens sort of sticking up in her grave, which I thought was interesting. And then we climbed up Hampstead Heath, where it seemed like everybody was, and we took a nap near the lookout. It was just really a beautiful day. So at this point, I've just gone to Edinburgh for a week, and I'll make that as a separate video. And I guess I still had more bookstores to hit up, so I went to see Word on the Water. That was my first time there. It was very cool. Little bookshop on a boat. Then I went to Russell Square and went to Gaze the Word, which I have been to before. It's iconic, LGBTQ+, like monument of history. And then I went to the London Review Bookshop for the first time. I loved the curation there, and I am sad that I missed out on their cake shop. Oh, the wind has pushed all of my hair forward, and I look very floofy. I'm just kind of chilling in the park. It's a beautiful day. It's very chilly, windy, but I'm very comfortable. Then we're going out for dinner and drinks, and then seeing Phantom of the Opera, which is one of my favorite Broadway shows, musical theater shows. I saw the Broadway show before it closed last year, or the year before. It closed last year. I saw it in 2022. It's very windy. I don't know if you can hear me. And I also had seen it prior to that touring in Montreal, but this will be my first time seeing the West End version. I'm a really big fan of the actress who plays Christine right now on the West End. I saw her do the Rodgers and Hammerstein tribute show thing, and I really liked her in that. Voice of an angel, so perfect for Christine. And yeah, so just kind of letting the time go by. I finished reading Trespasses by Louise Kennedy yesterday. It was good. I don't know that it was really for me. I felt like I didn't really get the characters that well, and it was a very kind of slow, character-driven book, and so I felt like you needed to get to know them. Yeah, and obviously a bit of a downer. It was about the Troubles. So, but I've now picked up Fen by Daisy Johnson. I believe it's short stories. It says, the Fen is a liminal land. Real people live their lives here. They wrestle with sex and desire, with everyday routine, but the wild is always close at hand, ready to erupt. Yeah, and one thing I forgot to pack today is my water bottle. So I had to buy a bottle of water, 4 pounds. Why? I'm not happy. This is why I have a small water bottle, and yet I forgot to pack it. I also forgot to pack my journal and my pen. I have the essentials. As long as I've got a book in my wallet, I'm fine. and then that was the end of my trip. I didn't film anything on the travel day, but yeah, massive thanks to my friends in London for hosting me and sharing some memories with me. And I will see you next in Edinburgh.